Hello everyone, welcome to the class. Children, today I have come up with the new lesson, an inspirational lesson which inspires us. So it inspires in a great way. It makes us to think that we have to achieve something in our life. We have got a life which was given by God where we have blessed very much. But in this lesson, the boy who was impaired, instead of being an impaired person, he achieves success in his life. He achieves his dreams. Okay, he fulfills his dreams and he makes his parents and the nation feel proud of him. Proud of him. Okay, so we are blessed by God, right? We have everything perfect. So we don't have any impairment in our body. Though we are very lazy. We are lazy to do our work, we are lazy to read, we are lazy to write, complete our classworks and do our homework, and we are lazy to think. So in what way we are capable of doing things where we can make our parents feel proud of ourselves, right? So this lesson, it inspires us, it brings us a feeling that even we have to achieve something in our life. Okay, in this lesson, the boy by name Michael Stone, who is an impaired boy, he makes world records, national records. Okay, so how did he make the records? How did he attain his dream? So by having dedication, hard work, determination towards his goal, at last he achieved success in his life and made his country and parents proud. So even if we have to get success in life, even we have to have dedication towards our goal, and we have to do lots of hard work, and we have to have determination or strong feeling. Okay, we have to have strong goals, strong aim. So if you have all these things, we can achieve success in our life. Right, children? So in this story, a boy by name Michael Stone, he attains the world record. He makes world record by clearing the pole vault height by 17 feet 6 inches. Okay, he makes world record. And this shows his personality. This lesson shows his personality. So here, true height, it doesn't mean the real height. Okay, logically, this the height. So 7 feet, 6 feet, as I told here, the 17 feet, 18 feet. No. Here, true height means it shows the boy's personality, boy's character and his determination, how he worked hard, how he had lots of determination and dedication, and how he succeeded in clearing the vault, and how easily he attained his goal by putting lot of hard work. So in this lesson, it seems like it is very easy that he cleared, but he had lots of hard work. Okay, before coming to the final match, final day of his life, he had put a lot of hard work. Here in this lesson, we will understand the personality of the boy. Okay, so here, before going into the main lesson, we have pre-reading tasks. So here, what the pre-reading tasks tells us. So here, Nagaraj Gowda and Jayamma are farmers. They live in Hosanagara, an obscure village in South Karnataka. On the midnight of September 3rd, 2012, Monday, they were waiting for a phone call from some 5,000 miles away. The call came, their son's voice said, "Amma, I have won silver." Their joy knew no bounds. H.N. Girisha had won the silver medal in Paralympics in London early that night. An 80,000 capacity crowd, some 2,000 Indians among them, had cheered him lustily. And the 24-year-old young man had cleared a height of 1.74 meter using the scissors technique in men's high jump event. So in your textbook, you can see how the man has cleared, that is using the scissors technique. Girisha was born in an impairment in his leg. So here, the pre-reading task tells us that a boy who had an impairment in his leg was not perfect like us. So he had won a silver medal in Paralympics. So here Paralympics is a Olympics organized for the people, for the athletes who are impaired in one or the other way. Okay, Olympics, we know about that, right? So Olympics are the games which have been organized for the athletes who the people are perfect in everything. But Paralympics is the Olympics organized for the people who are having impairment. Okay, so here the boy, the 24-year-old man by name Girisha, so he had won silver medal in Paralympics. So here he was a person who was born in a poor and a small village. An obscure village means small village in South Karnataka. One day his parents Nagaraja Gowda and Jayamma, they were waiting. They were farmers and they were waiting for a phone call because their son was participating in Paralympics in London, which was held in London. So they were very eager to know what their son did. So what he has done there. So they were waiting for the phone call, and one night they will get a phone call, and from that side, the person, the young man, Girisha, he calls and he tells that he had won silver medal. So what happens to parents as they are the farmers and they had put lots of effort to make their son to reach that place, right? They have taken lots of hard work and they have put lots of hard work and trouble which made their son to reach the place. So by listening that their son had won the silver medal, they were very happy and their happiness had no bounds. So they were not having any bounds. Okay, they were not having any compounds or any barricades to show their happiness. That there were no barricades. They were very much happy that their son made him feel proud as parents as well as country. Okay, so here the Girisha was born with an impairment in his leg. So he was an impairment person. So he never lost his hope. So he worked on it, though he was impaired, he worked on it and he won a silver medal. Same way, even in our lesson, the boy by name Michael Stone, even he also clears the height of 17 feet and 6 inches and gets first place in Olympics, in Paralympics. And here, true height. So here, true height refers to another kind of height. What is that another kind? It shows the boy's personality. Okay, so here in this story, the 17-year-old boy clears the height of 17 feet and 6 inches. Okay, now his palms were sweating. A glass of ice water quenched his thirst, but hardly cooled his intensity. The turf he sat on was as hot as the competition he faced today at the National Junior Olympics. The bar was set at 17 feet. That was 3 inches higher than his personal best. Michael Stone confronted the most challenging day of his pole vaulting career. The stand was still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. The pole vault is truly the glamorous event of any track and field competition. The sportsman combines the grace of a gymnast with the strength of a bodybuilder. Also has an element of flying, and the thought of flying as a two-storied building is a mere fantasy to anyone watching such an event. That day is not only Michael Stone's reality and dream, it is his quest. As long as Michael could remember, he had always dreamed of flying. Michael's mother read him numerous stories about flying when he was growing up. Her excitement and passion for detail made Michael's dream full of color and beauty. He would be running down a country road. He could feel the rocks and chunks of dirt at his feet. As he raced down the golden lined wheat fields, he would always outrun the locomotive passing by. He would begin soaring like an eagle. Where he flew would always coincide with his mother's stories. His dad, on the other hand, was not a dreamer. Bert Stone was a realist. He believed in hard work and sweat. From the age of 14, Michael did just that. He began a very careful and regimented weightlifting program. He worked out every day with weights and did running work on alternate days. The program was closely monitored by Michael's coach, trainer, and father. Michael's dedication, determination, and discipline was a coach's dream. Besides being an honor student, Michael continued to help his parents with their farm chores. His persistence in striving for perfection was not only his obsession but also his passion. Mildred Stone, Michael's mother, wished that he could relax a bit more and be that free, dreaming little boy. All Michael's walls today seem to be the reward of his hard work. He cleared the bar at 17 feet 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches and became one of the final two competitors in the pole vaulting event at the National Junior Olympics. Constant preparation and determination were his strengths. As he lay on his back and heard the crowd groan, he knew the other vaulter had missed his final jump. He knew it was time for his final jump. Since the other vaulter had fewer misses, Michael needed to clear this vault to win. A miss would get him second place. Nothing to be ashamed of, but Michael would not allow himself the thought of not winning the first place. He rolled over and did his ritual push-ups. He found his pole, stood up and stepped on the runway that led to the most challenging event of his 17-year-old life. The runway felt different this time. It startled him for a brief moment. The bar was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. That's only 1 inch of the national record, he thought. The intensity of the moment filled his mind with anxiety. He began shaking off the tension from his body. It wasn't working. He became more tense. He began to get nervous. He had never experienced such feelings before. Then out of nowhere and from the deepest depths of his soul, he thought of his mother. Why now? What was his mother doing in his thoughts at a time like this? It was simple. His mother always used to tell him to take deep breaths when he felt tensed, anxious, or even scared. So here, the story. Now, children, I'll stop the lesson and explain. Okay? So now, here, these paras, just now what I read, these paras tells about Michael Stone, his life, about his parents, and about his hard work. How did he put lots of hard work to reach the final competition? Okay, now, this lesson starts like this. His palms were sweating. A glass of ice water quenched his thirst, but hardly cooled his intensity. The turf he sat on was as hot as the competition he faced today at the National Junior Olympics. So here the author is describing the feeling of the Michael Stone. As he was in his final match, so here the author is describing how Michael Stone was feeling, how he was feeling. So his palms were sweating. Same thing happens to us, right? So even we have participated in lots of competitions in our school, which were held in our school, right? So how we feel when we are participating in the competitions? So we feel like our palms are sweating, our legs are shaking. So we will have lots of tension in our mind, right? Whether we will win or lose. We will be having that thought. So about winning the game, how to win the game. Okay, so will I win or will the other person win? And we might have put lots of hard work. So if you have put lots of hard work, we will win the game. Right, but also though in spite of having lots of hard work, during our final stage, final competition, everything will go from our mind. The lots of hard work, everything will be vanished, but only one thing we'll be having is we'll be very tense, our palms will be sweating, our legs will be shivering with scared, right? So here also same thing will happen to Michael Stone. So here his palms were sweating and he takes a glass of water which quenched his thirst. Okay, so but hardly cooled his intensity. So the glass of water, it quenched only his thirst. He came over his thirst, but it did not cool his intensity. The glass of water did not cool his means that tension. Okay, so he was having lots of tension. The turf he sat on was as hot as the competition he faced at the National Junior Olympic. The turf, the place where he was sitting, was making him feel that it was very hot. Okay, because he was having lots of tension. The seat was not hot, but the way he was feeling, so he was very much scared of the final race. So he was in a final race which was held that day, and it was National Junior Olympics, when if he crosses, if he clears the height, so he will win the title of National Junior Olympics. So he was very much tensed. The bar was set at 17 feet. Now the bar here, Michael Stone was a pole vaulter. Okay, pole vaulter, a game which will be played with the help of using the vault, a thin pipe. Okay, thin pole. So here Michael Stone was a pole vaulter, and that bar that was set at 17 feet. That was 3 inches higher than his personal best. So here the 17 feet was 3 inches higher than Michael Stone's personal best. That was 3 inches higher than personal best. Michael Stone confronted the most challenging day of his pole vaulting career. So here Michael Stone, that day he was coming across lots of challenges on that pole vaulting final day. So the stand was still filled with about 20,000 people, even though the final race had ended an hour earlier. So here the stand, though the final race had ended an hour earlier, still the stand was filled with 20,000 people. The pole vault is truly the glamour event of any track and field competition. So here in second para, the author is describing the pole vault game. How the pole vault game is? The pole vault game is truly a glamour scheme, a beautiful game event, a track event and field competition. It was a beautiful glamour game. Okay, so the sportsman combines the grace of a gymnast with strength of a bodybuilder. So the pole vaulter has to build his body. He has to have a gymnast body. Gymnast means the body which can turn and twist easily. And also the body should have a strength like a bodybuilder. The pole vaulter has to make his body like a gymnast which can turn and twist, and also he should attain the strength of a bodybuilder. Pole vaulting also has an element of flying, and the thought of flying as high as a two-storied building is a mere fantasy to anyone watching such an event. And also pole vaulting is a game where we have to fly higher to cross the bar, right? So here pole vaulting also has an flying element, and the feeling of flying high in the air makes something different, a unique different when we are flying in the air, right? So it is such a beautiful event which has a flying element and which the body builder. So the pole vaulter has to build his body like a gymnast as well as like a body builder. And the feeling of flying high in the air makes a track event very beautiful to anyone, to the person who is watching an event, and the person who is flying in the high also feels very great. That day is not only Michael Stone's reality and dream, it is his quest. That day, the day of his pole vaulting career, the very important day in his pole vaulting career is Michael Stone's reality and passion. It is not only Michael Stone's reality and passion or dream, it is his quest. Quest means he is the person who wanted to win the match, not just becoming happy by attaining the second place. No, by getting the second place. No, it was his dream to get success, to get first place. As long as Michael could remember, he had always dreamt of flying. So here in this para, the author explains how Michael Stone got interested, how he got interested in pole vaulting event. So as long as Michael could remember, he had always dreamt of flying. Michael's mother read him numerous stories about flying when he was growing up. Now here, Michael's mother, Mildred Stone, she was the one who was the backbone. Michael Stone and Brett Stone, Michael's father, was the backbone of Michael Stone, where he got a dream of flying high in the air. So Michael's mother used to read him numerous stories which was based on flying in the sky. So from his childhood, Michael Stone dreamt of flying in the air. So the way she was explaining the story, so the mother's excitement and passion for reading stories for Michael, it made Michael to dream of flying in the air. The Michael's dreams was full of color, and he was dreaming of flying in the air. So he would be running down a country road. So as his dream was flying in the air, so he selected pole vaulting, and he did not only select, but he started to put his hard work. What all the things he did? He started to run down the country road. He started to run on the country road. He could feel the rocks and chunks of dirt at his feet. So his practicing, the way he was practicing was not easy. So as he was running down the country road, the dirt, the small stones were pricking his feet. As he raced down the golden light wheat fields, he would always outrun the locomotive passing by. So as he was having a race for himself, he was running down the country road or in the golden wheat fields, he would always outrun, he would always chase the locomotives, vehicles which were passing on the road. He used to run faster than the vehicles. He would begin soaring like an eagle. He would started flying high like an eagle. Where he flew would always coincide with his mother's stories. So how he was flying? Always his flying was coinciding with his mother's stories. How his mother was explaining the story, same way even he was flying in the field. So he was practicing pole vaulting, right? So he was flying like as how his mother was explaining in the story. His dad, on the other hand, was not a dreamer. So here Michael's mother was a dreamer. She used to say the stories which were based on flying. So beautiful and inspirational stories. But his father, Birthstone, was not a dreamer. He was a realist. He believed in hard work and sweat. So he was giving lots of practice for Michael Stone. From the age of 14, Michael did just that. From the age of 14, so he had put lots of effort. He began a very careful and regimented weightlifting program. He started very careful. So he started to practice. Okay, he had started to practice to reach his goal. He had started to work hard. How he worked hard? He started every day carefully with strict disciplined way of lifting. He had practiced weightlifting program and also he started workouts every day. Okay, so he had running and he also started weightlifting. Alternate days he practiced running and working out with weight lifts. Now, the program was closely monitored by Michael's coach, trainer and father. So, who trained Michael Stone? So, he was trained by coacher and he was monitored and he was given instructions by his father. His father took care of Michael Stone's training. Now, Michael's dedication, determination, and discipline was a coach's dream. Now, his father, he was not a dreamer, so he was insisting Michael to have dedication and determination and discipline so that he can achieve success. So in his dream, right, he can attain his dream. Every time his father used to advise him to have a determination, dedication and discipline in his work. Besides being an honor student, Michael continued to help his parents with their farm chores. Not only he was working out to fulfill his dreams, but in spite of a honor student, a good student, he also helped his parents in their field work. His persistence in striving for perfection was not only his obsession, but also his passion. So the persistence, so the striving to have perfection in his work was not only his obsession, was not only his way. So he wanted a perfection which was his passion. Okay, so he wanted to be perfect in his work, perfect in his passion. Milfred Stone, Michael's mother, wished that he could relax a bit more and be that free dreaming little boy. Now here, his father, Michael Stone's father, was giving him lots of practice. He was realist. He was advising Michael Stone to not to dream. So to believe in dedication, determination and hard work. But his mother was a dreamer. She was telling his father to give some free time for Wilfred so that he can dream like the other children of his age. Okay, but his father believed in hard work. All Michael's walls today seem to be the reward of his hard work. Now, whatever he has achieved in his pole vaulting career was the result of his hard work. He cleared the bar at 17 feet 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches and became one of the final two competitors in the pole vaulting event at the National Junior Olympics. By putting lots of hard work with lots of determination and dedication, Michael Stone cleared the pole vaulting bar at 17 feet 2 inches and 17 feet 4 inches and he became one of the two finalists in National Junior Olympics. Constant preparation and dedication were his strength. Now, what was Michael Stone's strength? It was constant preparation, everyday preparation and strong determination were his strengths. As he lay on his back and heard the crowd groan, he knew the other vaulter had missed his final jump. As he was sitting in a field, in a track, and when he was waiting for his turn to come, so he heard the sound, a huge loud sound of the crowd, and understood that the other vaulter, the one of the finalists, had missed his jump. He did not clear his jump. He knew it was time for his final jump. Since the other vaulter had fewer misses, Michael needed to clear this vault to win. Now, as he heard the sound of the crowd, he understood that the other vaulter had missed his turn. Okay, he missed the first place. He missed to clear the vault. But now here Michael Stone understood that it was his turn now. So he had a chance of clearing the bar and to win the National Junior Olympics. Now, Michael needed to clear this vault to win. Now, what Michael Stone needed? So he needed to clear. He needed to clear the bar to win the National Junior Olympics. A miss would get him second place. Nothing to be ashamed of. Now, if he missed to clear the jump, no need to worry. Anyhow, he gets a second place. But here, Michael would not allow himself the thought of not winning the first place. Now, he does not want to get second place. He did not allow the thought of not winning the game because he had put lots of hard work. He wanted, at any cost, he wanted to win the game. So he did not have a second thought of not winning. Second place is not cheap, right? Attaining second place. But he does not wanted to get a second place. He wanted to win the match, the event. He rolled over and did his ritual push-ups. Now, it was Michael Stone's turn. Now, he started to make his body he started to give warm-up exercise to his body. He rolled over and did his ritual push-ups. Now, this was Michael Stone's turn. Now, he started to do warm-up activities like push-ups. He found his pole, stood up and stepped on the runway that led to the most challenging event of his 17-year-old life. Now, he took up his pole and he stood up and stepped out. He came and stood on the track where he has to run and clear the vault. Now, it was his most challenging event. It was his most challenging event in his 17-year pole vaulting career. It was his important day. The runway felt different this time. It felt different this time. So he was tensed. Now he was feeling differently. It started him for a brief moment. So he was thinking for a while. The bar was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. Now the bar, it was set at 9 inches higher than his personal best. His personal best was 17 feet 4 inches where he had cleared already. Right. So now the pole vaulting bar has set the 9 inches higher than his personal best. That's only 1 inch off the national record, he thought. Now the 9 inches, it was 1 inch lesser than to attain the national level championship. Now he has to clear that 9 inches, the 17 feet and higher than his personal best, 9 inches higher than his personal best. The intensity of the moment filled his mind with anxiety. The situation made his mind to fill with lots of anxiety. He began shaking off the tension from his body. Now he started to shake. Now his body started to shiver because of tension. He began to get nervous. He had never experienced such feelings before. Now he started to shiver and his nerves started to shake and he started to feel differently, which he never felt all these years. Then out of nowhere and from the deepest depths of his soul, he thought of his mother. Now, as he was feeling very nervous about his final jump, now he started to think about his mother. Now the author is asking why he is thinking now about his mother. What was his mother doing in his thoughts at a time like this? Now this is a very crucial time. Michael Stone is thinking about his mother? It was simple. His mother always used to tell him to take deep breaths when he felt tensed, anxious, or even scared. Now, every time his mother was advising him when Michael Stone was feeling nervous, every time his mother used to advise him to take deep breaths during tension and whenever he used to feel nervous. So, as it was the final jump, so he was feeling very nervous, so he was thinking the advice given by his mother. So he did, along with shaking the tension from his legs. He gently laid his pole at his feet. He stretched out his arms and upper body. The light breeze that was once there was now gone. Now, children, did you understand how he was feeling in his final day? So he was feeling very nervous and he was remembering his mother. Now, next, what happened? So he was doing warm-up exercises and he was making his mind to calm down. Along with shaking the tension from his legs, he gently laid his pole at his feet. He stretched out his arm and upper body. The light breeze that was once there was now gone. He could feel a trickle of cold sweat running down his back. He carefully picked up his pole. He felt his heart pounding. He was sure the crowd did too. The silence was deafening when he heard the singing of some distant robins in flight. He knew it was his time to fly. As he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different yet familiar. The surface below him felt like the country road he used to dream about. The rocks and chunks of dirt, the visions of the golden wheat field seemed to fill his thoughts. When he took a deep breath, it happened. He began to fly. His takeoff was effortless. Michael Stone was now flying just like in his childhood dreams. But this was real. Everything was moving in slow motion. The air around him was the purest and freshest he had ever sensed. Michael was soaring with the majesty of an eagle. It was either the eruption from the people in the stands or the thump of his landing that brought Michael back to earth. On his back, with that wonderful hot sun on his face, he could only imagine the smile on his mother's face and hear his dad's laughter. What he didn't know was that his dad was hugging his wife and crying harder than Wilfred had ever seen before, shedding tears of pride. Michael was immediately swarmed by people hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. He later went on to clear 17 feet 6.5 inches that day, a national and international junior Olympics record. With all the media attention and heartfelt congratulations, Michael's life would never be the same. It wasn't just because he had won the National Junior Olympics and set a new world record, and it wasn't because he had just increased his personal best by 9.5 inches. It was simply because Michael Stone was blind. So children, did you understand how Michael Stone was impaired? So he was blind. Now what happened during his final jump? So he started to make warm-up exercises and he took his pole vault and he started to move in the track. Now here he had a grace of gymnast. He had a grace of gymnast and the strength of a body. So he started to run in the track. So he started to run in the track and he started to stretch his body, so his arms and his upper body, and the light breeze which was blowing once, now the wind was not blowing. The wind was not, there was no breeze at all. Okay, now he could feel the trickle of cold sweat running down his back. Now what he was feeling? He was feeling a sweat was coming down, it was flowing down his back. He carefully picked up his pole. He felt his heart pounding. He was sure the crowd did too. Now he carefully picked up his pole and his heart started to beat hardly, means very fastly, and he started to feel the heartbeat. He was sure the crowd also was having the same feeling where everybody's heart was beating fast. The silence was deafening. The silence, there was entirely silence in the track. When he heard the singing of some distant robins in the flight, he knew it was his time to fly. Now he was hearing the robins sound. The few robins were making sound in the sky. So now by listening to the robins sounds, Michael Stone thought that it was his time to fly like a bird in the sky. As he began sprinting down the runway, something felt wonderfully different yet familiar. As he was running down, sprinting down means as he was running down the runway in the track, so he felt something wonderfully different but familiar. So he was feeling like as he was running in the fields where he had practiced. Okay, the rocks and chunks of dirt were pricking to his feet. So the visions of the golden wheat seemed to fill his thoughts. So he was feeling the golden wheat fields where he had lots of practice. When he took a deep breath, it happened. Now he began to fly. Now he took a deep breath and now he started to fly in the air. Takeoff was effortless. How his takeoff was? His takeoff was effortless. He was flying in the air effortlessly. Michael Stone was now flying just like in his childhood dreams. How he was flying? Just like in his childhood dreams. But this was real. But this time it was real. Everything was moving in a slow motion. The air around him was the purest and the freshest he had ever sensed. Now he was feeling the happiness. He was feeling the fresh air as he was flying in the air. Michael was soaring with majesty of an eagle. So Michael Stone was flying, means slowly high like an eagle. So he was rising up like an eagle. It was either the eruption from the people in the stands or the thump on his landing that brought Michael back to earth. Now he started to fly in the air and now he cleared the jump. All the people in the stadium, they were very happy. On his back with that wonderful heart on his face. Now he cleared the pole vaulting and he was now landing on his back with the warm rays which were touching his face. He could only imagine the smile on his mother's face and hear his dad's laughter. Now he could only imagine that his mother was having a smile, proud smile, and his father too was laughing with pride. He was also having a smile on his face with proudness. What he didn't know was that his father was hugging his wife and crying harder than Mildred had ever seen before, shedding tears of pride. Now, the one thing what Michael Stone did not realize was his father was hugging his wife and he was shedding tears with pride that Mildred had never seen Bert Stone crying so loudly. So this crying was due to the proudness which Michael Stone brought to them, given to them. Okay. Now Michael was immediately swarmed by people hugging and congratulating him on the greatest accomplishment of his life. Now as he landed on the ground, so he was surrounded by the people. So hugging, the people were hugging and they were lifting him and they were congratulating him on his greatest accomplishment or his greatest achievement in his pole vaulting career. He later went on clear 17 feet 6.5 inches that day. So as he cleared the 17 feet 9 inches, which was higher than his personal best, that is, when he cleared the pole vault track event, the 17 feet and higher than 9 inches, he also started to clear 17 feet 6.5 inches on that same day. a national and international Olympics record. So he cleared and he achieved, he was awarded national and international junior Olympics record with all the media attention and heartfelt congratulations. All the media and people, they were congratulating, they were heartfelt congratulating him. Okay, the Michael's life would never be the same. Michael's life would never be the same. It wasn't just because he had won National Junior Olympics. So, if he had not won the or cleared the National Junior Olympics record, Michael Stone's life was never used to be like this. But now, as he cleared the National Junior Olympics record, and when he set a new record, his life turned completely different. So he was congratulating, and he had been congratulating by the people. So he was feeling very proud. And it wasn't because he had just increased his personal best by 9 inches. It was simply because Michael Stone was blind. So it wasn't just because, so the media people and the people, they were not happy that he had cleared the National Olympics Junior or he had set a new record, but because he was a blind boy. He was a blind boy of 17 years who had set a new record by clearing 17 feet and 6.5 inches. Even this, by reading this story, even we feel like we have to achieve something and we have to make our parents feel proud. Right? So children, even I wish that even you also achieve your dream, but before achieving, before thinking about having a dream, please have a dedication, determination, and put your hard work to achieve your dream. So when you put all these things, when you have all these things, so then only you can get success in your life. And children, we have few words and their meanings. So let's read them. So confronted. Confronted means came across or faced many challenges. Regimented. Regimented means strict and organized. Grown. Grown means loud sound. Sprinting down, running speedily. Children, I hope you have understood this story. And in the next class, I'll come up with new lesson. Thank you, children.